Alright, what is up everybody? Coming back at you with another video on the channel today. It has been a new knife week and I'm loving it. Just put out my Microtech Glycon video yesterday. Really dig this thing. It's the only out the front I currently have, but if you're gonna have one, it might as well be that one, huh? So, we have got another new release. This one coming from Jake over at Bearded Gear and Ryan Rimmer. They are the co-owners of Luft Concepts. I have their original product right here, the AVNT. This one they're calling the AVNT, but I'm going to call it the AVNT, is what it is. So same pouch as the original AVNT, and I'll do a comparison here shortly. I really like this pouch. It's got a very heavy-duty zipper on it there. So this one didn't come with as much swag. You get a nice sticker here. You get this nice microfiber. The first one came with like a keychain and some other stuff, I believe. I purchased both of these from eKnives. Great retailer, guys. Check them out, eknives.com. But here it is. This is the new Luft Concepts AVNT, the new model. Let's get a flick. Ooh, very nice, very nice. So as you can see, we're a little bit different here. I'm gonna wipe this down so you can really appreciate the beauty. All right, so first thing you notice, obviously, are these beautiful milled titanium scales. And I have fallen in love with these. You know, I've seen some newer patterns. The hexagon's kind of the new frag pattern. But these are kind of like an elongated hexagon. And it's got kind of a heavier stonewash on it. You can see it in the right light. I don't know if I'll be able to show you here. Good drop, couple little shakes there. I really like this knife. So I really like the micarta knife initially. It was good action. I'm just not a huge micarta fan, guys. I've had micarta and I just end up selling it. And this knife, I really like the design. And this is made by Riot, and I normally love everything from Riot. It just didn't end up doing it for me. Like I said, I love the design. I like the knife. Just the micarta, I need some more weight. I just didn't love the micarta. So when this one came out, I knew I had to jump on it. So I went ahead and grabbed it. He actually did a drop on DLT. He did a pre-order, did a drop on DLT, and also eKnives did an exclusive version. The exclusive was all PVD, or DLC blade handles, and it came with zirconium pivot collars and backspacer. This model has zirconium pivot collars on both sides here, as well as a zirconium backspacer. And if you're familiar with your materials, you can kind of tell instantly it's zirconium. Show you some other zirconium I have here on the CKF Evo 3.0. It's got a big zirconium backspacer on it. So you can kind of tell there if you're familiar with it. So the good on this knife, love those scales. The texture's good, but it's not something that's gonna rub your hands. Flipper action, very snappy. I really like the reverse flick. It's got a very large hole for deployment, and you can kind of get in it in quite a few different ways. I mean, you can ring finger flick this knife. May even be able to pinky flick it. Let's see. Yeah, you can pinky flick it. But the one major problem it had, and I had the same problem with the original AVNT or the AVNT, whatever. The detent sucked. So Kevin from Lefty EDC and Jake from Bearded Gear know each other, and they're friends. And Kevin, I've got a couple of his knives here, here, and here. It's kind of known as a detent diva, if you will. I'm slowly getting there myself. This detent was shit. I'm just going to say it straight up. Detent sucked. Very light. Very light. Same issue on this one, super light detent. Which, you know, that's a problem I can solve. So I disassembled it, I bent the lock bar in, strengthened the detent, and now, oh, it's so good. It's so good. You sacrifice just a little bit on the action because the lock bar is pressing a little harder against the blade, but it's still so good. You know, not something I'd really worry about. Yeah, it's just a fantastic knife. So let's get back into it. M390 belt satin hollow ground blade, nice and thin behind the edge. I think it's 13 thousandths, something like that. This one is a decent amount heavier. I think we're right at 4.2 ounces. This one's like right at 3 ounces. This one's a little on the lighter side. This one, to me, feels very good. But I'll also EDC a Medford Ombre, so maybe I'm a little different. I like a more substantial feeling knife. I've got, you know, large hands. I like a big knife. I like a heavier knife. Not super heavy, but I like it to have a little oomph to it. So I think the weight is perfect for the size. It's got a little bit of, like I said, a little bit of weight to it. That zirconium probably adds a little bit. Zirconium's kind of heavy. And the titanium, it just takes this knife to the next level. He said he did change some stuff with the lockup to give it a little better feel and a little more of a solid lockup. And it just feels really, really good to me. Yeah, it's solid. Went with the wire clip again. I think it goes with this knife. You know, a milled clip would probably be, it would look a little better, but I don't hate the wire clip on this knife. Now, an example, like here on the Devo Knives Stout, I put an RGT milled clip on there, and I think it completely changed the look of this knife. I mean, I think it really stepped it up a notch. I would pay a little more for a milled clip. Personally, here's the thing. Wire clips are better for function and use. Absolutely. Really can't argue with that too much. Deep carry, easier in and out of the pocket. But milled clips look better, and they feel a little better. And some people, it just depends on what you're looking for. This knife, I'll probably EDC it some. It's not crazy up there where I wouldn't EDC it. This is running $350. Now, that may seem like a lot, but the micarta version was also $350. So to get these upgrades with the titanium, the milling on the titanium for the same price, I think is fantastic. I'm not mad with these scales. I am not mad at that price at all. I really like it. And funny, the day after I got this, E-Knives released their exclusive, which is $450. But it's the full DLC and the Zircuti pivot collars and backspacer. I'm hoping he might release a Zircuti kit that you can buy. I might pick one of those up. But I think the zirconium goes really well with the plain titanium look. It just works. It really does. Yeah, I'm really digging this knife. The second iteration is fantastic. They've got another design they're coming out with. I've seen some prototypes of. It's a completely redesigned knife. It looks really good too. Supposedly they're getting more into EDC gear, maybe fidgets, maybe pry bars. Jake seems to have kind of stepped back from YouTube a little bit. He doesn't upload as often, and I can see that. Sometimes you just get burnt out. You just grind and you grind. And here's the thing about the high-end knife world. You've got your breakouts, Metal Complex, Neves knives that can possibly make a living off YouTube, and I think both of those guys have normal jobs as well. You know, when your biggest creator has around 200,000 subscribers, it's a smaller community, and especially high-end. You know, if you review Spyderco's and Vosteed and Civivis, you're going to get more subscribers because more people buy those knives. I don't really do this for subscribers. I just like showing off my knives. Some people enjoy it. Some people, I know when I'm interested in a knife, I look for videos, and I try to put in my videos the things I look for in a video when I'm looking for a knife. Now, the ergos on this knife, people seem to rant and rave about the ergos. I like them, but I don't love them. And maybe that's my hand. The reason I don't love it, they do have this nice thumb ramp here, and it's chamfered really well. The chamfering down the spine, it's nice and rounded. It feels really good. But when I'm back here, I can get 4 fingers and get that, but my thumb just feels a little crowded right here. Now, when you choke up, it even more so. I find myself choking up and going up here. Now, where that's a crown spine, I said chamfered. Crowned is the correct term. With this crown spine, it feels good up here. I feel really good up here. Now, a small issue I did have with my original AVNT or Avant. I said I would say Avant. I keep saying AVNT. It wasn't extremely sharp. I have stropped it quite well. And you can cut paper, but you can see it ripped that first one, which is surprising from Riyadh. And these are made by Riyadh. This one is definitely sharper. So maybe I just got a dud on the first one. It's not screaming sharp, but it is acceptably sharp. I think a little strop with this one, and we'll be doing things because it's so thin behind the edge. It's set up to be a laser beam, and I think you can get it there. So overall, guys, my impressions, I really enjoy this knife. I think these are still available on DLT to get this version. I'm pretty sure E-Knives still has their exclusive with the Damascus available. I think it's a great knife. I just love these titanium scales. If he came out with standalone titanium scales for the original model, I would buy them so fast, and I would have 2 that I absolutely love. Now, I still like this knife, don't get me wrong. I just don't love the micarta. The titanium, it's kind of crazy to me how much the titanium changes this knife. It really steps it up a notch. But yeah, a fantastic little knife. Let's get some action shots here. Drop to the thumb's great. One mid shake and it's down. Flipper tab really flies it out there. One thing I like about this knife when I'm left-handed, it is ambidextrous on the clip. You can get the flick out, and you can actually come under on the lock bar. And with that finger choil, it falls down and it doesn't hit me. So fidgeting left-handed, I can fidget really well with it and close it one-handed, no issues. Because if you're a lefty, you know, sometimes you'll accidentally put some pressure, and when you break that lock bar, the blade comes straight down on your thumb. I probably have scars. I've done that so many times, and it's not a great feeling. It's just weird. It just bounces off and cuts you. But yeah, like I said, I strengthen that D10 up. Depending on what you like, you may or may not have to. I like a little bit of a stiffer D10. Nothing crazy. But like I said, I feel like I've tuned it really well. I did have a problem getting it back centered, but I do believe I've solved that now. Let's see. Yeah, I think so. It was favoring this side. But I do believe I have fixed that. It might be favoring the other side, which is okay. I can tighten it a little bit and get it perfect. Yeah, no blade play. Lock rock. Nah, not really. I wouldn't call that lock rock. It's more lock bar flex than anything. But yeah, fantastic knife. And the grind, this satin grind is beautiful from Riyadh. They killed it on this one. The chamfering around the hole, fantastic. Very, very well done. I got the Devo Knives Mash here. I've got a review coming soon on it, but that's my main complaint on this knife. It needs more chamfering. It's really thin right here, and so is this, but the chamfering is just next level. But this one, you flick it a few times, and it starts to hurt my fingers pretty badly. Enough to where I've thought about going in there and chamfering it more myself. This knife, I absolutely love the design, but it needs a more premium version, which I think he's coming out with, and I will absolutely pick up. But yeah, guys, the Luft Concepts Avant, AVNT, whatever you want to call it, a definite W in my book. I would definitely recommend picking one up. So yeah, Got a McNeese Mac 2 3.5. Finally got one, guys. Finally. Been chasing it for months. Missed a couple drops trying to buy one, but they sold out. I got one from River's Edge Cutlery. Hopefully it'll be here tomorrow. They wanted $80 for UPS next day air. That's crazy to me. DLT for $40. You get FedEx priority overnight. USAMA Blade has like $20 UPS next day air, which is fantastic. So I'm pretty sure they're marking up their shipping. Some companies do that. They actually make money on the shipping. They mark it up. So that kind of sucks. But I've had great experiences with River's Edge. But the last USPS package I got from them, it showed pre-shipment until it went out for delivery. So this one says accepted, but it says it hasn't moved. I'm hoping it's going to pop up tomorrow out for delivery. Really looking forward to that knife. So check out the channel. That video should be up. But I appreciate you guys watching this. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more knife content. Check out some of my other knife videos. And have yourself a great day.